everyone. Welcome to Interpersonal Communication. This is your semester break course, which essentially means it runs from towards the end of fall into January, and it lasts about 6 weeks. And this is a setup that would be pretty standard for a traditional course that you would have during the regular semester, but it is in a more condensed format. So that's why I want to give you a little bit of an orientation as to how each unit and module is set up and how to complete those in order to be as successful as possible. So if you can tell here, this is the opening screen. You will have announcements that will be posted here. They also connect to your student.swic.edu email. So if you are not already connected to that, I would highly recommend you do so that you are kept up to date on various things. The Start Here tab is where you have gone already, and that gives you kind of the orientation along with an introductions and questions forum where you can ask me what questions you feel would be valuable both to yourself and to others, and as well as introduce yourself to the rest of the class and to me so that we can get to know each other before getting into the course. So please try to jump in there as soon as you can, and just tell us a little bit about yourself, and I'll join in as well and try to get to know you a bit. Additionally, down here, when you get to the syllabus, you're going to see a link for the syllabus specifically and the course schedule. I want to open up the syllabus here really quick, and we'll talk briefly about that. So here is your syllabus. Gives you contact information. Now, seeing as this is a semester break course, the contact information is a little bit different. I am on campus quite a bit, but not always, so I would not recommend my office or my office phone number. Instead, I would recommend this email address as your primary mode of contact for me. That's going to give you the greatest chance of being accessible or getting me in a more accessible format, depending upon the time of this term. This is essentially a course that covers a number of different concepts related to our communication between ourselves and another person. It ranges from topics such as nonverbal communication to everything from that to conflict management. So there's a lot of really interesting topics in this course. I'll let you kind of read through some of this on your own. As for the textbook, you do not need a traditional textbook for this class. Instead, I ask that you get the book Mindset, The New Psychology of Success by Dr. Carol Dweck. That can be purchased at the bookstore. You can borrow it from your library. Amazon has it for real cheap. You can also look on Bookfinder and see if you can get a used copy for very cheap. And you can also use the Audible version or audiobook version. I've listened to that a couple of times. And you can get that through Audible, where if you aren't an Audible member, you could get it for free, essentially. Or you can borrow the audio version from your local library. So there's a lot of different ways you can have access to this book, but that is the only book you need. I believe in the bookstore it sells new for $17, and you could rent it or borrow it for like $8. It just depends on where the market is at that particular time. The assignments in this course are actually includes 3 units. I know it says 4, but that was if it was an 8-week course. We have to do some combining of units for this to equal 6 weeks. It's the same work. It's just kind of intensive. So we have Unit 1, which has a variety of assignments related to various topics within interpersonal communication, and Unit 2, which looks very similar. Unit 3 is also similar to 1 and 2, but it adds to it a final project that needs to be completed. And so that's kind of it. It's 1,000 points. You need to be regularly attending the course, and when I say attending, I just mean you need to be engaged. You need to complete assignments on time. If there's more than 2 assignments missing in a row, or if you are gone for more than 7 days from the course, then you will be withdrawn from the class. But apart from that, it's a pretty relaxed setup. And that's actually what I want to go to next. I want to show you how this course is set up and give you some tips and tools for being successful. So the very first thing you're going to see is under course content, you're going to see a lot of, a folder for Unit 1, and then as the units get closer, there'll be a folder for 2 and then for 3. This tells you what the dates are for that unit, the topics that we're discussing, and which course objective or objectives are being discussed and focused on in that particular unit. So once you click on a unit, you're going to see the list, this task list of things that you need to do in order to be successful in that unit. You will have a description of what readings need to be done. There's also a link to whatever videos you need to watch. And these are videos I have created. They are linked in the course, but they're also part of a YouTube playlist, so you can pull that up in whatever manner you see fit. So you can watch them on your computer on Blackboard, or you can watch them on YouTube. And the link to the playlist is available there. So each unit has a series of videos to watch and readings to complete. With those, you need to take notes. So you take notes of your readings, you take notes of the videos that you're watching, and those notes are going to be submitted. So for example, in Unit 1, you are going to take notes on each of the communication process videos. You're going to give an overview of each video and a personal reflection on each video. And in the mindset reading, you're going to give an overview of the chapters, each chapter, and a personal reflection of that chapter. So here's kind of the setup that you'll want to consider when looking into how you might submit those files. But once you're ready and you have all of your notes done for all of the content, you just click on Unit 1 Notes, and you will see a place where you can browse your computer and upload those notes there. And so that's how you submit those assignments. And it usually has the due dates listed right there, so you shouldn't have any trouble seeing when things are due. You will also need to participate in a discussion for every unit. So that's 3 discussions. Essentially, the discussion is about a topic that's related to something we've discussed already, or a combination of topics. And I ask that you feel and act as if this is an in-depth discussion that we may have in a face-to-face class. In that mindset, I ask that you pretend that you are very engaged in that conversation and try to communicate as much as possible. I'm not docking points for missing a citation or a certain number of sentences or the like. I do ask that you post early and you post often. And you are critical in your posts. Think about what you're saying, be engaged, and value what you say and what others are saying. I will be in there quite frequently, so I might ask you a question. I expect for you to respond to that question, and so on. And I will always participate in the postings early enough that gives you the time you need to respond to what I'm saying. So in each discussion, you will really want to be as engaged as possible in that in the commentary. My recommendation would be to post initially your response in the first week of the unit, and then focus on your response posts to everybody else in the second week of the unit. And so that's essentially what it is. And there is a description of what I mean and kind of how I'm asking you to follow along that in each of the discussions. You also have a unit quiz for each unit. In this case, for each one of them, they are multiple choice and true false, and you are more than welcome to use all of your notes and the book, however you wish to do that. And then finally, you have a unit reflection for each unit. And in this case, the unit reflection is to answer a couple of questions about the application of these concepts to your own personal experiences. So this is where the personal notes, the reflections you have, may come in quite handy. So keep that in mind. They all sort of tie in together and can be used interchangeably within various assignments. So that's what a unit looks like. The only difference is the last unit is a final project, or it has with it, in addition to everything else, it has with it a final project. And there are options with that project, so you can choose what you wish to do. And that's essentially it. So hopefully that makes a lot of sense and you're able to get through the course each unit is 2 weeks long. So you will do Unit 1 for the first 2 weeks, Unit 2 for the middle 2 weeks, and then Unit 3, which remember is not only the biggest unit, but it's also during the holidays. So it's just the way it falls in this type of course. So Unit 3 will be due on the last day of class, and that is going to include that final project. If you need to get any information about me individually, you want to give me a call. Again, I'm not always going to be on campus during a semester break class, but you can always get me via email. You can kind of read through about my family. I am obsessed with Boston Terriers. I have 5 of them, one of which has had a litter of puppies recently, and all of my friends have these babies. So it's kind of cool to see how they grow to live with their new families. Just love these guys to death. As you can see, they snuggle with me in bed. So these are my babes. Also, there are office hours, but again, that it differs based on the time since it's a semester break class. And there's other tips and tools that you may find of value. I've been teaching online since 2006 and have been doing, I've taught and built hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of courses. So it has been a forte of mine in terms of where I focus my attention for eons. I even have a doctorate in course design and online education. So if you have questions or concerns, please let me know, and I will do my very best to help you. So that's it. Best of wishes to you, and hopefully everything will go smoothly. Again, contact me via email if you have questions or concerns, and I hope to see you on the discussion board.